Hi guys, welcome back to another stream. Hope you're all doing well. Yeah, I need to try those new Clementine quests at some point. See what they're like before they disappear. I mean, if I can't think of anything to play on Wednesday, I might just do PSU to check those out. So yeah, today I thought we'd do a little bit of Phantasy Star Zero. It's going to be a little bit weird on the stream for the next couple of streams, just because I don't want to start anything that's going to take a long time. Because then I'm going to be away for 2 weeks, so it's pointless me starting anything like Front Mission 3. And then go away for 2 weeks, because by the time I get back I will have forgotten where I'm up to. So I'll probably start those once I get back from holiday, but the next couple of streams, we'll probably just do things that are going to be like one stream per game. 6-player quest on Clem will change one last time next Sunday. Okay. Good to see you, Scorpio, and Pika as well. So yeah, I thought we'd just do a little bit of Phantasy Star Zero today. Not anything in particular, just you know, just do a few runs. If people want to play, then by all means. Next Wednesday will be day or two before the Halloween on Affinia. Yeah, I probably need to talk a bit about Affinia. Well, what I'll do is I will set up a lobby on Zero. I'll leave it up for a few minutes in case anyone does want to join. As usual, my friend code is on screen, so if anyone wants it, it's there. Yeah, I don't mind what we do, Drac, honestly. I mean, I only have this character and the level 5, so... Halloween's not on Affinia yet, no. It should be relatively soon. But yeah, the thing I want to talk about with Affinia is some of the changes they've just made overnight. Which I feel have gone down with mixed results, let's say. Yeah, I guess I can talk about it here while waiting, just in case anyone wants to join. So there was an update to Affinia overnight. There's some really good things in it. So there is now an option where in the launcher you can now turn off the ability for materials and untech special weapons to show up in your quick menu. Which is brilliant because pretty much anyone who's played PSO for any amount of time has probably had a situation where they've accidentally used materials from the quick menu and completely screwed up your material plan. So they've now made an option where you can disable the ability to use materials from the quick menu, which is really, really good. The thing people are not as positive about, well, I say that, I mean, it's a little mixed, is there is a quest in Affinia called Cal's Clock Challenge, which a lot of people use for unsealing, but it's also really good for hunting pretty much anything in Temple or reasonably good for Spaceship as well. They have disabled the drops in that quest. I have a suspicion they've done it mainly maybe because of the Halloween event coming up. Maybe they didn't want people to spam it for Halloween cookies. I feel there are probably better ways of doing it than the way they have, but... So yeah, just to be aware that if you do play Cal's Clock Challenge now, there will be no drops in it. Hi, Zel. It is a weird choice because there are other quests in the game that are almost as efficient. I mean, I suppose the advantage of Cal's Clock Challenge was that you could literally just stand in the middle of the room, never move, and just spam text or whatever, and you'd just clear it. Which is obviously great for unsealing, but for hunting things, it did kind of make it a bit mindless, I guess. But you then have quests like Tyrell's Ego, which are ridiculously good for hunting more or less anything. And they're still on, so it's a bit weird. Okay, the party is now up, so if anyone does want to join for Zero, feel free. Fantasy Ego Online. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about the Cal's Clock Challenge changes. I appreciate your character is called Castra. still relatively new to Ophinia, so unaware of all the tricks and hunting spots. So basically, Scorpio, what Cal's Clock Challenge was it's a quest where you start off in Temple, and it is literally one room. And the way it works is, as the name suggests, is you have a timer, and the timer is really short. It's like a few seconds, but every time you clear a wave, it adds a few seconds onto your time that's left. So the idea was you would just keep clearing it until you run out of time. Now, it's a really, really good quest for anyone who wants to... And for anyone who wants to like unseal things like Seal J-Sword or Limiter, it's really, really good for using that quest to get really quick kills, because obviously all the enemies are in a really condensed space. You just literally stand in the middle, spamming your fight. In Ultimate, it was also really good for hunting things in Temple and kind of Spaceship as well. So that's the main reason it was used, but they've now disabled all the rare drops in it. Well, disabled drops in general in that quest. So it is there now just for experience and unsealing, basically. You've got a limiter. Yeah, I mean, Cal's Clock Challenge is still obviously really good for unsealing, because they haven't changed anything with the spawns and the quest or anything. You can also use Beyond the Horizon as well, that's pretty good. But yeah, the issue now is that there's no rare drops in Ultimate in any difficulty, but that mainly affects Ultimate, obviously. Okay, do I have any space anywhere? Oh, it's not looking good. I need to go through my storage in this at some point and clear it out, because I've got far too much stuff in both. Trade me, Sky. I barely have any space for anything. Sure. You just mag Fabian while you watch a stream, this time aim for Sato. Sato is one of the best mags. It's so good. Actually really useful as well. Are you sure you just want to give me that? Because I know it's rare. You won't use it, okay. Well, I will. It's timely as well, isn't it? Because we just finished Phantasy Star 4, so it feels right. Oh, thanks very much for that. Your reward for finishing Phantasy Star 4. Yeah, so I am down to basically do any area. I guess we can just kind of cycle through them. So should we do we do free field or do we do quests? I can't remember which one's higher for rare drops. I know there's a difference between them with the rare drop rates and the experience rates. Field for more rare drops, okay. Alright, let's start. Tower. Okay, how much inventory space do I have? Because I am drastically running out of space. No, we're not too bad. We could do some tower. I mean, should we do this first and then I guess we can do a few floors of tower or something? You're at the expensive stage of feeding mind. Why must fluids be so expensive? Yeah, I would say don't bother feeding tri-fluids because they're just not worth the amount of money they cost. There we go. As God intended. HUnewearl with a Rika's Claw. Does it make the noise? It does. Yeah, speaking of Phantasy Star 4, there will be a video going live this week. It's probably either going to be Tuesday or Wednesday for members, I think. And that will be a Phantasy Star 4 video. It's just taken me a long time to edit everything for it, so I'm hoping it'll go live Tuesday or Wednesday for members. No, that does nice damage. Yeah, mag feeding is something I certainly don't miss in PSO. I tend to just get people to do it for me now. I just pay someone to give me a mag. That was rude. So yeah, the streams for the next, well, for this week coming and the week after will probably be a little bit all over the place just because I don't really want to commit to anything long term until I'm back. Then once I'm back though, we'll be back to doing more long term stuff then. I forgot how much these things hurt and super hard. I should probably use D-band, honestly. Yeah, it's not too bad, this claw. I think the set boost helps it. I think without the set boost, I don't think I would use it. Carabiner armor. I've already got one of those. That's why you're not using it on HUnewearl and the suit is female only. It's weird that, isn't it, that they let you use the claw as a HUnewearl but not the armor. I mean, I get why from a practical standpoint. Yeah, I think the games that we play for the next couple of weeks, it will kind of depend on what happens with the Finia. Once we get a confirmed date for the Halloween event, I will play Finia definitely during that, for the period that I can, because I'd probably be away for about half of it. I'd like to raise your mags personally, mostly on stats. Luckily I've been saving specifically for raising the force mag. It kind of depends what stats you're going for. I mean, if you're going for like a typical min-max mag, there tends to be a lot of people who do those with like that stat layout. But if you want something more personalized, then yeah, you might have to make it yourself. Just while we're getting started here as well, for those who didn't see, I currently have a Google form active at the minute, which is in relation to a video that I'm planning for towards the end of the year. So those who've watched for a while will know that I've been mentioning that I'm planning a special video for the end of the year, which is going to tie in with the 25th anniversary of PSO. As part of that, I kind of want to get some statements from other players as to how PSO has impacted them. You know, what effect PSO has had on people. So there is a Google form up at the minute. If you look on YouTube in my community post, there is a link to it there. Additionally, if you join the Discord, I've also linked it on there and on X and Bluesky as well. Anyone who fills the Google form out and leaves their email address on it for a contact, I'm going to enter into a prize draw for some Phantasy Star merch, which should be delivered roughly about January 2026. So if you're interested in that, feel free to drop your comments on the form. I lost a period of my life. I mean, I think most of us can say that. Like, where has the last 25 years gone? I just thought it would be nice to have some feedback from, from people who've played since the beginning. Because this game has had, PSO. Oh my god, we've actually got an arena. It's the first time I've had one. Challengers confident in their skills wanted. Survival not guaranteed. Sounds good. Yeah, I've never done this. So this is like a rare instance. Blaze Hellion. I'm assuming that's a rare one. Yeah, so PS0 has like rare areas. Yeah, just going back to the PSO video though, I basically wanted some feedback from other players, whether you started with Dreamcast or a later version. I know the anniversary is strictly for the Dreamcast version, but I want the video to be about PSO in general. So it has been a bit of a project, this video, so I'm excited to get it actually finally released. I think the video should be going live, it should be towards the end of December. I kind of want to time it to as close to the 25th anniversary as I can. Oh, someone leveled. Man, this guy just doesn't stay still. Then, as I said, there will also be a Phantasy Star 4 video coming as well. There probably won't be a video this week for non-members because I took a week off from the videos last week. Yeah, fighting 3 of these at once is a little spicy. You really do forget how much damage these things do until you do them super hard again. Well, we beat the arena. That's kind of cool. I do find it funny in the background you've just got like the NPCs from the town, by the looks of things. And they seem very excited about watching you fight to the death. I always thought the town in PS0 was a nice peaceful place. Well, I got something called an Ainsriff, or Ainsriff. No idea what that is, but I'll take it. It's a cool little feature though that you can get the arena just show up. Yeah, that is the first time I've ever seen that. I've seen other people get it, but I've never had it show up in one of my games. Just gonna say that I still can't beat the dragon. Yeah, the dragon in this is no joke. Arena on multiplayer at level 60 is like doing Falls TTF at level 80 on Ultimate, slap dead. Yeah, I mean, I was taking over 300 damage from those Hellions. And even at my level, I only have like 580 HP, so... But yeah, Stephen, don't worry about not being able to beat the dragon. This game is actually hard. No, I had to do the dragon with my 4 mile recently, and it was a bit of a struggle. Again, I mean, I've said this before, I still don't think the boss fights in Zero are the highlight of it. I really like the game, but I think the boss fights leave a bit to be desired. It takes a bit of getting used to Zero as well, because I don't tend to play Zero a great deal outside of the streams. You know, I feel like I get quite a lot of progress done on the streams. So because of that, every time I come back to it, it takes a bit of, like, adjusting to get used to again. Zero sequel for the 3DS may have been nice. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they had the good building blocks with this game to build from, but just never did. Extra power would have allowed for more, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt that the game is very much hampered by it being on DS originally, for sure. There is only so much they could do with the DS, I guess. yeah, I think the plan for once I am back is, I think the Wednesday stream is once I'm back will probably be Front Mission 3 for probably quite a while because it is a fairly long game. The Sunday streams I'll probably try and keep to Phantasy Star stuff because I appreciate a lot of people originally subbed for Phantasy Star. There is still quite a few Phantasy Star games I still need to check out as well, so I still need to play Nova. And I also still need to play some of the weird ones, like the text adventures and things like that as well. I don't know how much content we'll get out of those, but I still want to check them out because they are still part of the franchise. I was thinking there'd be another switch on this side, but doesn't look like there is. Not that I can see anywhere. The DS limitations made them think a bit outside the box. Oh, for sure. Anyone here looking to get the... is it Iron Thor? It's looking mighty tempting. I'm not sure what that is. Once again, I must remember to use trap vision. Yeah, it's one issue I will always have with this game. I always forget to use trap vision in it. I think just because it is such a useless item in PSO for the most part. But glad to see you still playing the Black Sheep PSO. Do I think this is the Black Sheep PSO? I mean, it's definitely one of the weirder ones for sure. I kind of feel that maybe PSO episode 3 is like the Black Sheep one. Maybe. Ep 3 next week. This definitely is outsold Ep 3. I think pretty much anything would have outsold Ep 3. Like, Ep 3 sold terribly. The Anthor is the new dual screen emulation machine. Okay. No, I hadn't heard of that. Yeah, I'm just thinking how many more streams we'll have before I go. So like this week coming, we've got the Wednesday and the Sunday stream. And then I think the week after, it'll just be the Wednesday stream. Because I go away on the Saturday, so... Black Sheep means that people are mixed about it or it's very different from the rest. Yeah, yeah. You don't disagree because people talk about Ep 3. They maybe just don't care. Maybe don't care for the card game focus, but Zero just doesn't help at all. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, F3 got a lot of slack, a lot of pushback at the time just because it was so different. But you are right in saying that 0 just never seems to come up at all. Which is a shame, honestly. Time for Phantasy Star Nova. I do still need to play Nova. I don't know if I want to use this claw for the dragon. Oh, this is the Irons Riff. Okay, fair enough. Bosses in this game are a joke if you make use of a 4-person photon blast chair. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Alright, dragon time. Never seen Nova. I've never played Nova either, so... Don't push me away. Oh damn, he is getting obliterated. Catch this. It does, however, hurt like hell. Yeah, Nova's an interesting one from what little I've seen of it, but I never had a PS Vita, so I never got to play it when it released. And I think it was only released in Japan as well, so that didn't help. I'm pretty sure there's things like crafting in it, that you can craft different parts of weapons together. It's a very weird game. Well, I clipped his head with over him, but unfortunately he pushed me away. It was only in Japan, yeah, I thought so. There is a translation patch, although it's not 100%. I just appreciate that there is a translation patch. You got it in your Vita right now. Oh, nice. Yeah, so does everyone in game have the tower patch? I repeat all my fluids. A great Sergeant didn't cut the tail, for shame. If it was Monster Hunter, I'd be there. Well, I guess if everyone's got the tower patch, I guess we can do some tower. You want to report on the quest? Unfortunately, there was no quest. I'm just hoping that I still have the tower patch. I think I do. We'll find out, I guess. But yeah, we might mix things up a little bit just before I go away. So maybe on Wednesday, because I know PSU Clementine events just added a little update to it. So maybe we'll do some PSU Wednesday. I'll have a think about it. We get the HP and PP heal when you talk to the counter, even if there's no quest. You do. Yeah, so I guess we can try this. So I'm pretty sure, I think it was the Wild Valley quest, wasn't it, that you do to activate tower? Pretty sure it was the first one on the list. Yeah. Let's see if this actually works. Yes, it does, yes. Yeah, so if anyone hasn't seen this before, there is a patch to let you do the Eternal Tower multiplayer. There's nothing interesting here. It's basically just saying the tower's really tall. Are you sure you want to do it? You got a cool shield. You hate tower. I mean, it's inescapable in Phantasy Star. You're always in a tower somewhere. It's an all-class barrier with PA laser shield. That is pretty cool looking, actually, yeah. It actually suits your character a lot as well. It does sound like an angry bee. I'll go back to daggers for a bit, because I really like daggers in this game. You love PSU, right? Yeah, I really like it now. I was a bit mixed when I first played it. If you've seen the video on my channel when I first played it, it's just because the saber that you start with, the animation's terrible for, and it was really putting me off the game. But yeah, once I give it a bit more chance, started to enjoy it a lot more. Don't be wrong, we're not going to beat tower this stream. But let's just do some of it. Yeah, it was the animation on that first saber. It basically had no range whatsoever. So it felt like I had to be basically on top of the enemy to hit it at all. I really didn't like it. Remember the first videos I was sure you would drop it. I was pretty sure I was going to drop it initially as well. I thought the game still seemed quite interesting in spite of the issues I had with the combat, but once I tried some different weapons out, it is a lot better. It's still not one of my favourite Phantasy Stars, but I do like it though. This game always just makes me want the dodge button in PSO. It's a mixed bag, the dodge button is, I think. So it is nice to have some kind of evasive action in the game. You know, in PSO you evade by walking out the way of the enemy. It is nice to have the dodge there. The only thing I don't like is the fact that the palette space is already so small in this game that having the dodge assigned to one of your buttons, it really limits what you can actually use. You have to really think about what you want on your action palette. And I'm used to games with already limited action palettes. I mean, you know, PSO is bad enough for that. But this, you literally have like 3 action palette buttons on the front and then 3 on the back. And one of the front ones is taken up by dodge. Also, yeah, I should use trap vision. I still don't understand the weird vibrating when you charge tech. I guess they need like a visual cue to show that you're charging. Okay, so Dreamcast version 1, 6 option buttons. Yeah, I guess on the Dreamcast you had your front and back palette. Yeah, and there was no quick menu either on version 1. I think that was added, was it version 2, I think? I've tried playing version 1 on Dreamcast and it takes a lot of getting used to just because I'm so used to having the quick menu. Vibing with the tech, it looks like it, yeah. I was not expecting that to die that quickly. I think the quick menu came in V2. Yeah, I'm still a little bit shaky with it, with the specifics of the Dreamcast version, just because I started myself with GameCube. I do have them, I mean, they're in that cabinet behind me, but I've only played them a little bit. That was very nicely done. I'm assuming most of these drops will not be worth picking up. But yeah, as for the form that I mentioned earlier, the Phantasy Star merch, it's not decided what it'll be yet. It kind of depends on what is available when I go to Japan, because I mentioned this I think in a previous stream, but there is a PSO merch pop-up shop in Japan while I'm there, so I'm going to it. So I'm going to try and pick up something from that. Remember the old Dreamcast keyboard back in the day? I think PSO was the only game that used it. I have a Dreamcast keyboard. It doesn't work particularly well. But basically when I bought my Dreamcast a couple of years ago, the guy in the shop went, "Do you want a keyboard with it?" I was like, well, can't really use it for anything. I was like, and the guy in the shop was basically, "Look, no one is buying this, please take it." He just threw it in for free. I thought, well, if you're giving me it for free, I'll take it, sure. But we find the best Rappy plushies while you're there. I am planning to go to the Sega Store as well, but from what I understand, the Sega Store is basically Sonic the Hedgehog, Yakuza, and some Atlas stuff. So hopefully I can find something somewhere. Oh yeah, there was Typing of the Dead as well, wasn't there? Yeah, of course. Still have one somewhere too. It's an off-brand translucent green one. Mine's one of the proper Sega ones. Yeah, the guy in the shop was literally like, look, no one is buying this keyboard. Like, please take it off my hands. I did have a keyboard for the GameCube version as well, but it wasn't the really cursed one that has the controller like attached to the end of it. It was just like a regular keyboard that was designed to connect to the GameCube. Like an off-brand one. It was a thing for me going for PS or Dreamcast with a keyboard to PS or GameCube without one. Yeah, you kind of realise how slow the like entering text is without the keyboard. When I first went online with GameCube, I didn't have a keyboard. And it took me probably maybe a week or so to realise, no, I really need to get one. Word select can only get you so far. Yeah, I do wish I got to experience Dreamcast back in the day. But unfortunately, I was first of all not aware of Phantasy Star at that point and didn't have a Dreamcast, so... Yeah, Scorpio, the GameCube, like, I can't remember if it was an official one or if it was Hori branded. I can't remember now. So I know Hori did one that was very similar. But yeah, it was basically a keyboard with the ends of GameCube controller stuck on the end. It's an extremely cursed thing. I can't imagine it being very comfortable to use at all, really. But that was the solution. But yeah, it's super weird looking. It was Hori, okay. I mean, Hori makes some good, good peripherals, really. I've had like arcade fighting sticks made by Hori before, and they've always been good. Maybe it was like a Nintendo license thing that they like outsourced to Hori or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's a very cursed keyboard. You really wanted the GameCube keyboard. I think everyone who has the GameCube wanted that keyboard, even though it looks cursed. Hori does some top tier hot ass stuff as well, okay. I mean, I will say, not that the arcade sticks helped me be any good at fighting games, because I was still terrible at them. Honestly, I think the favourite thing I had for the GameCube was the wireless control, the Wavebird. I really like the GameCube Wavebird controllers. Honestly, I would probably use the Switch GameCube controller on PC if I could, but as far as I'm aware, it's kind of locked so you can only use it on Switch. You still use a Wavebird? Oh, nice. Yeah, unfortunately, I gave mine away. So my brother, when he moved out, he had a couple of cats, and he was trying to play PSO, and every time he tried playing it, the cats were attacking the controller cords. So he basically came to the solution and asked if I would trade him my Wavebird, just to stop his cats from attacking the cords. It did eat batteries, yeah. Yeah, I seem to remember, I think it used, like, was it 2 AA batteries, I think? But yeah, it didn't last that long. I remember it being quite funny to set up as well because you had like, if I remember correctly, I think there was like a dial on the controller to determine like what channel it was connected to, and then there was the dongle that you plugged into the controller port. I think that had a dial on it as well, and you matched them up. It was kind of cool for the time though. I mean, I don't think there would have been that many wireless controllers around then. Still like a relatively new thing. With 16 channels. Yeah, I love the Warbird. When I was young, I had a bunny and he had a habit to chew on the joystick cables. The Warbird was probably the first good wireless. Yeah, I never really had that many problems with it, honestly. Now and again you get it where it just wouldn't connect for some reason, but usually just changing the channel would work. I tried wireless controllers, but the Warbird was the successful one. I remember the controllers having a really good weight to them as well, which, to be fair, was probably largely because the battery's in it. I always find it weird with Nintendo that they seem to make either amazing controllers or terrible ones. There's like nothing in between. Because for me, the GameCube controller is still probably, for me at least, is probably one of the most comfortable controllers to use. I love using the GameCube controller. But then you've got things like the Switch Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons, I don't find them that comfortable to use. The buttons feel horrible on them. And they drift. I don't know what the Switch 2 ones are like, but the first Switch Joy-Cons I thought were awful. It was 80% battery, 20% control. Because I can't remember if the Warbird had the like vibration built into it or not. I can't remember if they had to get rid of that for the wireless functionality. Yeah, Switch Pro controller is really nice. I haven't tried the Switch 2 Pro controller, but the Switch 1 Pro controller, I do have one. Unfortunately, that has also started to drift, but it is a really comfortable controller. I like the Switch Pro controller, but it had really bad inputs with the D-pad in early years, which sadly returned with the Switch 2 Pro. Yeah, for mine, the D-pad works fine on it. It's just the left analog stick drifts. It's only very slightly as well, so it's really annoying. Like some games I can play fine with it, but then other games, my character will move very slightly, and it's super annoying. It's a shame as well, because it is a really comfortable controller. I mean, now I'm using a 8-bit door controller, which I have mixed opinions of, but it's comfortable enough, but I don't feel like they're built that well. Yeah, the Switch Pro controller I think is one of the most comfortable ones I've used. The only other issue I had with mine was the sort of the hand grip parts of it, the parts that are kind of textured. For some reason on mine, one of them started to get loose. Just very slightly though, just enough to notice it. Mind, I will say, Nintendo are not the only ones who make controllers that are not particularly reliable. I think the only ones worse I can think of are maybe some of my Sony controllers. Some of those are terrible for reliability. I think back in the day when I had a PS2, I mean, I've still got one behind me, but when I used to play the PS2, I'm pretty sure that every single controller I bought for PS2 ended up breaking. Oddly, one of the more reliable ones I had was the a wired Xbox 360 controller, like the ones that you could use for PC. The downside of that was that you had to use a wired Xbox 360 controller because the D-pad and that was horrific. But it was reliable. You had a lot of the PS2 controllers as well. I mean, I think for the PS2 I've got behind me, I think I've got 2 or 3 controllers. I'm pretty sure one of them doesn't work at all, and 2 of them are on the verge of breaking. Yeah, the 360 controllers seem honestly really reliable. They just don't feel good to use. It's mainly the D-pad with those, honestly. I think the rest of the controller isn't too bad. You're using a wired Xbox 360 controller now. They seem to go on forever. So the only real issue I have with it is just the D-pad is just, well, very vague at best. Never had any issues with controllers when I was still a console gamer back to the Xbox 360. Right back to the Master System, not a single issue. They certainly don't make things like they used to. Yeah, controllers from 20 years ago are still working great, but I've had to replace several Switch controllers due to drift. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's like planned obsolescence or just bad build quality, but it does feel like modern controllers just don't last as long. I mean, I know they get absolutely hammered when you use them, you know, they do take a lot of punishment, but I just feel like a controller should last more than a couple of months. Planned obsolescence is your bet. It wouldn't surprise me. I think, for me, I think the Sony ones I've had have definitely been the worst. If it doesn't break, how can we get you to buy another $70 controller? Exactly. Yeah, I think the Sony ones for me have been the worst historically because I remember when I was younger, I actually won a PS1 in a competition in a magazine. And it arrived, and I think the controller lasted 2 weeks. Yeah, it lasted about 2 weeks, and then the X button just stopped working. I've still got the PS1. The PS1 still works fine, but yeah, the controller, no. It was a weird experience winning that PS1 because it was a magazine where I'd entered 2 different competitions in the magazine. One of them was for the PS1 and a copy of Driver 2, which was a new game at the time. Show my age a bit there. And the other competition was to win a PS2, which I think had just came out at the time. And I found out that I'd won one of the competitions, but I didn't know which one. So when I got the box from the company, I was like really excited and like, as a kid, really hoping it was like a brand new PS2. Opened it as the PS1, and I was thinking, like, yeah, I'm glad I've won, but and to be fair, it was still useful because my original PlayStation, funnily enough, had just broken. Most controller issues with PS4. Yeah, I have had... So I used to have a PS4. I ended up selling it because all the games I wanted for the PS4 ended up getting delayed and I couldn't bother waiting for them. But yeah, I've had, I think, 2 PS4 controllers. The one with the console worked fine, but I didn't have it that long, honestly. The one that I bought lasted about... maybe. H10 Missouri. I don't know which Missouri that is, but I'll take it. That's rare. Oh, cool. Oh, it's quite a cool looking gun, actually. Excuse me, don't hit me while I'm showing off. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Does it actually have any decent stats or anything? It has quick draw. Percentages aren't great on it, but it's 1 in 2,000 drop. Oh, nice. Yeah, it is funny though. Like, thinking back to all my older consoles that I had, I don't remember having these kind of problems with really old consoles. I mean, I say that fully realizing that the PS2 is also a very old console now. Are you active on Instagram? Not really. Very, very rarely use it. But yeah, I would like to try and get a few more retro consoles if I can. I think I've reached that age now where I want to get all the consoles back that I used to have. One thing I am going to do when I'm in Japan is I'm going to go to some of the retro game shops in Japan. I really, really want to try and find a copy of either Phantasy Star 2 or Phantasy Star 4 if I can. I realise that's probably a hard prospect, but I don't even care if it's like the Japanese only copy. I just want a copy of it. I never had these problems on the Mega Drive. Yeah, exactly. You know, in my head, the Mega Drive is like 10 years ago. It's really depressing, isn't it, that like PSO, which was a game from the Dreamcast, is 25 years old this year. How does that happen? It's a really cool looking handgun. I like this. It's just crazy thinking about like what is considered retro now. Like when I think about what I would consider retro, it's just kind of crazy. What still feels to me like relatively modern consoles. Time isn't real. It isn't. Time is a fabrication. I didn't realize we were at the boss. That's a really cool looking P8. I like that. I like the sort of disrespect shot at the end. Well, I wasn't meant to do that, but okay. This is one of the issues with this controller, is that the bumpers kind of overlap on the side of the controller a bit, and I have a habit of hitting them accidentally. Is the PS3 retro? Retro to me is the Atari 2600. I mean, you're not right. I mean, the Atari 2600 is probably considered vintage now. That is really depressing. PS3 just got put in a museum, so PS3 is now retro. Jeez. Yeah, I was going to say, Drac, I think I must have been stood behind you because I was doing my PA and I was just guarding constantly. Do we keep going? I'm happy to keep going if you want. Yeah, that is crazy to think that the PS3 and the Xbox 360 are considered retro now. But I mean, I guess... And what year did they release? I mean, I know PSU was on the 360, so... Well, maybe around 2006, 2007, maybe around there. Playing Phantasy Star for Lost Shield gameplay. What you need though is another shield in the other hand. Just dual wield them. Yeah, I am happy to keep going if you want. But yeah, if the PS3 and the 360 are considered retro, then I've got a few retro consoles behind me. The 360 was a weird console for me, honestly. I think the only reason I bought a 360 was to play a lot of Guitar Hero and Rock Band. That was basically it. I seem to have a habit of doing that because the reason I bought a GameCube was for PSO, so... Guitar Hero stream went. The issue with Guitar Hero and Rock Band with streaming is they are the most DMCA games you can possibly imagine. So how would you stream a game that is entirely licensed music? I genuinely don't know how people stream rhythm games. Also, the other slight issue is I don't have my guitar controllers anymore. Because guess what? They're broke. We Twitch on the stream. Yeah, I think if I did it on Twitch, you could technically do it. But you would probably have to have the audio on a separate channel. Which YouTube, I've mentioned this before, but on YouTube you can't split the audio to a separate channel. Strummed it one too many times. Yeah, I mean, at one point I had most of the instruments. I know I had like microphone, I had I think 2 guitars, one of which looked like a bass, which was really cool. I had the drum kit, I had the keyboard as well. They're really fun games, honestly. And particularly Rock Band. You know, someone who listens to a lot of rock and metal music anyway, it was like really cool. You do not want to sing in stream, believe me. It's kind of strange that that genre of game has just kind of died. not rhythm games, but the like rhythm games with like the guitar controllers and so on. It just seems like after Rock Band and Guitar Hero, they just fell off completely. It's really weird. I just wonder what changed to make them just fall out of favor so much. Bought a 360 recently because you read that it can easily be soft modded. Got lucky and scored a Trinity for the equivalent of £30. Not to be an old man, but it's crazy how far we've fallen with Rock Band and Guitar Hero. The last one I played a bit of, I think was it Rock Band 4 on the PS4, I think it was? Maybe it was market saturation, yeah. I mean, there was a point where there was a lot of them. Rhythm games to me are Taiko no Tatsujin and Pop and Music. Yeah, I'm aware of Taiko no Tatsujin, I've never tried it though. I mean, it's not saying that Guitar Hero and Rock Band were the first guitar games either, because, there was things like, was it Guitar Freaks, I think? Maybe that's what it was, though. I guess there was a point where there was so many Guitar Hero games coming out that maybe I just got sick of them. Market just got flooded. Yeah, I think so. The weird thing is that Rock Band 4 is still kind of supported by the devs. But the stupid thing is that you can't buy controllers for it anymore. So they have a game which essentially means that once your controller stops working, you're kind of screwed unless you can find a used one. Rhythm game my time was DDR. Yeah, I mean, DDR's a classic one. Oh yeah, there were also Activision and the Guitar Hero games, weren't they? Yes, that does explain a lot. Like, I'm gonna switch weapon now because this gun, although it's cool, is not grinded or anything. There was a Guitar Hero like every year for a bit. Yeah, it felt like that. Return to Donkey Konga. I used to have Donkey Konga. Honestly, I thought Donkey Konga was pretty fun. I don't actually know what happened to it though, because I used to have it. I don't have it now. I don't remember getting rid of it. It just seems to like have erased itself from existence. I don't really know how that's happened. Still many crazy touch-based rhythm games in the arcades here. There are still arcades where I mean, around here the arcade scene is more or less completely died, which is really sad. Speedruns of Donkey Kong are hilarious, by the way. Yeah, it's kind of sad because when I was growing up, there used to be, I'm not going to say it was a massive arcade scene because it wasn't, but there was a few arcades around, but there's barely anything now. Yeah, I have really, really fond memories of going to the arcades when I was younger and like, playing things like Time Crisis and things like that. I do actually have Time Crisis in the light gun. That is a super fun game as well, but unfortunately I need a CRT TV for it to be a playable one. I guess that's like another genre that's just died off completely, isn't it? Like the light gun genre. Another was, I'm pretty sure there was a Kickstarter or something for a gun that kind of simulates light guns so that you can use it on modern TVs, which I thought was pretty cool to see. But it's just kind of interesting how things change with, you know, what genres are popular. Went to the arcade for Marvel vs. Capcom or any fighting game in Crazy Taxi. Yeah, I mean, fighting game, you know, for fighting games, the arcades were a huge thing, weren't they, really? Yeah, I never really experienced arcade fighting games because, as I have previously said, I'm terrible at fighting games. It was always mainly the light gun games for me, I think. I seem to be getting loads of rooms that have these red bombs in, and it makes it kind of awkward to approach as a hunter. When playing House of the Dead 2 with the light gun back on the Dreamcast, the VMU used to slot in the back of the gun, used to slot in the rumble pack. It was pretty cool. Yeah, the only light gun I've got is I've got the original light gun that the first Time Crisis game came with. You can approach him with guns or shields to block. I could. The sucker shooters and House of the Dead at Time Crisis were just a waste of money for it. That's how it was for me with fighting games. You were at the arcade playing Sega Rally 2 and Le Mans 24 Hours the night before you were conscripted. I never played the Le Mans game. I played a fair bit of Sega Rally, mainly in the arcades. I guess now there's probably just less reason for people to go to arcades, because I suppose most people just buy the console instead and just play the home games instead. I mean, God knows how expensive some of the more recent consoles are. Oh, it was the full-size Sega Rally machine. I think the only time I did the full-size one was, I think, maybe when I went to Disneyland Paris one year. They had an arcade there, and I think that had the full-size Sega Rally in it. Same with movies, yeah, exactly. The best arcade game that I played is I got a chance to play the arcade version of F-Zero. So, if you remember, there was a GameCube version of F-Zero, which was F-Zero GX, and there was an arcade version of it called F-Zero AX. And one of the arcade machines that you could use for it, there was a few different versions, but one of them was one where like the entire cabinet would move around and pivot and everything. That was really cool. And it actually had some functionality with the GameCube game as well, so if memory serves, I think if you took your memory card and slotted it into the arcade machine, you got some like special parts that you could only get from the arcade version. That was a really cool arcade game though. Really cool home console game as well, to be fair. Probably one of the best games on GameCube, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree, Mecca. I mean, in my town, they have recently opened, like, there's like an entertainment district that they're trying to like remodel the town centre where I am to be more of like an entertainment hub. And as part of that, they have opened this huge place that has loads of arcade machines in it. But they're pretty expensive to play. And it just, for me, just doesn't capture like how the old arcades were. Yeah, I remember the Daytona machines as well, where they're kind of all linked together. He's on it OP. I need to try Force properly in this game at some point. I've got a really low level 4 Mal, but it's a struggle with her at the minute. Yeah, I just think at the minute, though, I think a lot of the companies are making gaming increasingly inaccessible for people. Just with some of the prices they're charging for some of the consoles. Formal Grand slaps hard. I mean, there's been that recent Xbox handheld, and the price for that is ridiculous, really, for what it is. Let's just play old games instead. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's Steven, yeah. I think with the Xbox handheld, I think the issue I've got with it is I just don't see why you would ever buy that instead of a Steam Deck. Maybe there's a reason, but I can't think of it. The games also just don't work or take up gigs of data for no reason. Yeah, I mean, you probably know, but yeah, I played some Monster Hunter games, and Monster Hunter Wilds is a perfect example of that. I mean, I say that. I mean, Wilds does run for me. You know, I can play it. It just doesn't run as well as it should. Retro Game Cop just did a video on that. Okay. It does just kind of feel like when a new game releases now, it just kind of feels like we're there to just test it after it releases. And whether it works or not, who knows? They know they can get people to pay to test games. Yeah, pretty much. It does feel now that pretty much every new game you hear, you can almost guarantee there's going to be some kind of performance issues. Remember that it's your fault and you just need to buy the new latest machine for it to work on medium settings. I mean, for Monster Hunter Wilds in particular, I've mentioned this before, but yeah, my PC is not a mid-range PC, let's say that. And while it does run, there are some situations where it'll drop to like 35, 40 FPS, and it should not be doing that on my PC. I know there's still a lot of people with Monster Hunter Wilds that just can't even play it. On Minsk's PC, 15 FPS. Make that 10. Is your hamster the CPU? Yeah, for Wilds, honestly, it doesn't even matter what you have. Like, I can't imagine many people having perfect performance out of Wilds. It's just so badly optimized. Gave up on Wilds, and you don't do that for Monster Hunter. I hated Monster Hunter Try on the Wii, still played it in full. Wilds I couldn't be asked. Yeah, I completed the story of Wilds, and I've checked in with each title update, apart from the last one because I have no interest in Final Fantasy 14, so that update is nothing for me. But yeah, I don't know. Even with the performance issues aside, it just doesn't feel like that interesting a game to me. But for some reason, there is something about this just not making it stick with me. I'll probably check it again when we get title update 4 because I am interested in the Gogmazios fight, and they're meant to be doing some PC performance improvements in December apparently. Whether it makes any difference is another thing altogether. Yeah, I think the main issue with Wilds for sure, I think, is the PC performance, but even with that aside, I just don't feel like it's that strong a Monster Hunter game, personally. Again, I haven't played a great deal of Monster Hunter games, but with Wilds, I am directly comparing it to Monster Hunter World because, you know, essentially it's like a follow-up to World. I feel like I got a lot more for my money with World. It's a shame because I think the game does have a lot of potential, but I just don't think it's realised. Which, funnily enough, I guess is how a lot of people feel about PS2 NGS. The difference being is that I feel that NGS is on the up now, finally. Where Wilds, I don't really feel like anything's changed. Just speaking of NGS quickly, there should be an NGS headline relatively soon. I'm hoping that we're going to get a sneak peek of the PSO collab, so I'm interested to see what they do for that. I don't want to say very easy because that gets used a lot, but it's very streamlined and don't like that. Yeah, I mean, one of the other big issues I've got with Wilds for me personally, this isn't going to be an issue for a lot of people, but my main weapon in world was Insect Glaive. I really, really do not like the changes to Insect Glaive in Wilds. It feels an extremely one-dimensional weapon, I think, in Wilds now. Where you literally just charge up the charge stack, and you more or less feel like you spam it, and that's it. It doesn't really feel like there's much reason to do anything else. Some of the weapons do feel good, but yeah. I think difficulty-wise, I think it was definitely one of the easier games as well. I think the recent updates have changed that, you know, with some of the 9-star tempered monsters and so on. That has definitely helped the difficulty. And obviously now with Omega as well, I guess. But yeah, I don't know, there's just something about Wilds, it just doesn't click with me. It's weird because it's not something I can really easily put my finger on. It's kind of crazy how many rares you actually get. Yeah, I have been interested in looking into that new Pokemon game that's released, because I used to love the old Pokemon games. So I've been kind of watching a little bit of the new game just to see what it's like. I'm not totally convinced by it from what I've seen. Digimon beats it easily. Yeah, everyone's saying really good things about the new Digimon game. The only issue for me is that when I was younger, I was always more into Pokemon than Digimon. Like, I know like some of the really early Digimon. That's about it. PSO BB Tower isn't as generous. Yeah, there's a lot more death in PSO BB Tower as well. Oh, it's boss time. Didn't even realise again. The new game where the world map is one mesh and the world is one city and there's no windows, only textures. I saw that kill me off. Yeah, yeah. The entire city in the in Pokemon Z8 is just one model. So every time you're there, it has to load the entire model. I feel like Game Freak have been incredibly lazy and incredibly... They seem to like cutting a lot of corners for a long time. But yeah, when I saw the entire city, it was just one model. It's ridiculous. I mean, surely, at the very least, couldn't they have just like cut it into quadrants or something? It had 4 quadrants and it just loads the quadrant you're in. Wouldn't that have been a bit better for it? Still not ideal, but it's better than what they did. They can get away with it, people will still buy shit if it's got a cute name. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how good the game itself is, but yeah. Playing Pokemon Z now on your Steam Deck, don't like it. Crimson Viz Nemesis. I got a lot of Nemesis, whatever that is. And Crimson Viz. I'll pick that up. I guess I'll pick one of those up. That roll is insane. Are these actually good? What are they? Bazooka and a mech gun. How many items we got? Sure, I'll pick them up. It's not common, but it's not common that you get 4 7-stars like that. They have no elements, okay. You're always more of a Digimon fan, but Pokemon always have more games. So something else on more tower. I am happy to do either. If people want to switch it up and do some other areas, we can. But yeah, the new Digimon game, as unfamiliar as I am with Digimon, people seem to be really enjoying that game. I know Kathy, one of the other Avengers creators, I know they're a massive Digimon fan. They seem very happy with it. Well, it looks like Cultivator have gone back, so I guess we can go back and do something else. It's funny, the only Digimon game I ever played, like ever, is the very first Digimon World for PlayStation. Let's try another area. Yeah, sounds good. Digimon games have always been fairly solid. I used to love the world ones where you actually raise them, way more in depth than Pokemon. Seems like they're hitting their stride with the turn-based ones. Also, Shin Megami Tensei / Persona beats Pokemon for gameplay anywhere. Digimon World 1 on the PSX was fantastic. Yeah, I seem to remember it being a pretty fun game. The main thing I remember about it, admittedly, is I seem to remember that if you mistreated the Digimon, they would digivolve into certain ones. If you like that guy, Digimon World Next Order is essentially a continuation of that. The MC even appears in it. Okay. You know, Kathy was talking to me about the Digimon games a bit, and they were saying that every Digimon World game essentially feels like a completely different genre. So Minston, is there anyone else that wants to join? Right, I'm gonna have to sell some of this stuff because I am badly running out of money. Well, badly running out of space, sorry. New Mimon, my beloved. Was New Mimon the weird, green slimy one? I seem to remember that. It was, okay. Yeah, that has really bad percents. Yeah, I've already got this one, which is like overend and really good percents. So I think I'm pretty sell that one. That has no thought on art or no element, so that can go. Also has no thought on art. Welcome to the RNG Farm Fest of Zero. Yeah, I guess that's how they make you keep playing, isn't it? It's like, yeah, so you got this really nice rare drop. It'd be a shame if it had, you know, no thought on art. This is why we save Scum. Wow, that's got no element or no thought on art. That's terrible. That armor has no slots. Yeah, but that frees up a bit of space. The rates are harsher than PSO. Yeah, I only know a little bit about Digimon because my younger brother was a huge Digimon fan. So I basically know what I assume is like the first generation of them, like from the very first show. That's about it. I fall off hard after that. Yeah, we have not done Squidward yet, have we? We should probably correct that. Kids game, by the way. Yeah, exactly. Alright, let's do Squidward. Yeah, honestly, though, I am really glad to see the Digimon game doing well. Because hopefully, I mean, it won't happen, but I would say hopefully it'll give Game Freak a bit of a kick to actually put some effort in. It won't happen. Agumon is the main Digimon for most continents, he wouldn't be far off. Yeah, Agumon is the little T-Rex one, I think. If Game Freak gets a kick, they sue instead with that big end money. Yeah, I was thinking about this recently because I haven't played a Pokemon game since Pokemon Moon on the 3DS. And I was trying to think, like, how many games are we going to go with Pokemon where they just don't really innovate at all? I guess the Z to A ones are probably the most they've innovated because at least there is some things different in those. But for the mainline Pokemon games, it does just feel like the same game every couple of years. Just like the same formula every single time. Pokemon never innovating makes sense when you realise their target audience is always whoever is 12 at the time. Yeah, you're not wrong on that, to be fair. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't expect Pokemon to be like a super complex, series of games, but it just feels like every game is the same. Yeah, it's a new part of the world, there's some new Pokemon. But it's nearly always, you do your 8 gym leaders, you go to the Elite Four, there's some evil team. It's the same formula every time, more or less. Pokemon Colosseum peak, though. I don't ever play Colosseum. I did play a little bit of Pokemon Stadium. Surprising that things like EVs and IVs are even a thing. Yeah, I guess that's probably the most complex it gets. I mean, again, this is said from a position of ignorance because I haven't played anything past Pokemon Moon. So maybe they did some crazy innovation in the games after. But the only thing I know about the new game is that there's some weird evolution of Starmie that has really long legs. That's all I've seen all over like social media. Like weird ass Starmie. which when I looked at it, did just look like they'd taken the model Force Army and stretched the legs a bit. EVs and IVs only got added after gold and silver, so it's just baked in at this point. Yeah, I guess you kind of forget, like, with the original Pokemon games, like the red, blue, and yellow, like, how different they actually were. Like, all the stats and everything were totally different. It was very busted. I feel that, like, red and blue in particular, like, have to be some of the buggiest games ever released. The amount of stupid stuff you can do in those games is ridiculous. It was really funny as well when they re-released Red and Blue on the, I think was it 3DS Virtual Console at the time? And they didn't fix any of the bugs. The original Red and Blue and now stats work on another level. Oh yeah, they were always incredibly buggy games. Yeah, it was really funny that all the bugs that were present in the original games were still there on the Virtual Console ones. Like, you could still do the weird exploiting to get Mew to show up. You weren't able to transfer it to any of the modern games though, because to their credit, it would detect that it wasn't a legitimately obtained one. Oh, this is a trap room, actually. I've realised that. And for what it's worth, you know, I did have fun with the old Pokemon games when I was younger, but the early games I give a pass because, you know, they were a long time ago and it was some of the first games they'd done. The later games, I can't really give that pass to because it does feel like we're just treading through the same water again. Yeah, when I saw though about that model of the city just being one individual model for ZA, I kind of couldn't believe it, but also could very much believe it because it's a Game Freak. You think you're trying to turn Pokemon in a Xenoblade? Black and White is generally the accepted last good set of Pokemon games. Yeah, I never played Black or White. I played, I think it was White 2. That was reasonably good. I didn't mind it. But again, it was, retreading a lot of the same stuff the early games had done. I mean, I had a reasonably good time with Pokemon Moon. I think a lot of that was because it was obviously based in an area that looked a bit like Hawaii. And I have a couple of friends who live in Hawaii, so it was kind of cool to see that. But again, it's just the same kind of thing. They showed us Mega Dragonite and we couldn't think it would get worse than Mega Starmie showed up. Black and White, the ones that introduced the bin bag Pokemon, or trash bag for the Americans here, and the ice cream one. And don't forget the bird, it's a bird but red. Yeah, I really don't know what they were thinking with some of the Mega Evolution designs. We did kill Bird just now, we did. Man, I will say, on the subject of Dragonite, that has always been a Pokemon that I've never liked the look of. Even when I was younger, I always thought that Dratini was kind of cute, and then Dragonair looks pretty cool. And then it evolves into Dragonite, and I just don't like how it looks at all. I didn't say they had good Pokemon designs, just that it was a good game. Is it Squidward time? Sun and Moon was so inaccurate I didn't see a single reference to spam. Yeah, that is like one of the few things I know about Hawaii, is that apparently spam is a big deal. Yeah, both my friends who live there have both mentioned it. There we go. We almost died for doing that, but it was worth it. Spam Musubi is amazing. I have a Musubi press thing and everything. If you want to try spam the right way, I'll teach any of you. Yeah, kind of, Steven, yeah. Yeah, Drac, I saw him just do like 550 damage to you. He's a very angry squid. Speaking of companies and literal garbage, did you see Miyamoto's comments? Oh, we're doing more movies because they're forever, whereas games stop working. They only stop working because your company keeps suing preservation efforts. Yeah. Yeah, I just kind of interpret it as just Nintendo being Nintendo, honestly. Probably going to pay for doing this because it's probably really not a good idea to be here. How did that miss? I'm assuming he must have double hit me there because I was on decent health. God, everyone's getting bodied. Oh, this has happened again. Thanks, Squidward. I'll never like this fight because of the weird hitboxes on it. Stay there. There we go. Yeah, he dropped nothing particularly good. There's calamari now. No experience. Oh, were you dead when Squidward died? I love how we've got about 4 or 5 different versions of the Squidward emote now. Feels like every time we play this game, we add another one. Yeah, Drac, I saw him do, I think it was about 550 damage to you. You got a 3-slot Octo suit, nice. I don't remember if I said it on a previous stream or in Discord, but Nintendo has always been scummy. It's just their development team is so top-notch for games and quality minus a few exceptions. Oh, for sure. Yeah, my view is there are a lot of very, very good Nintendo consoles, a lot of very, very good Nintendo games. I just don't really like Nintendo in general. Alright, do I need to buy anything? Yeah, part of me still wishes that Sega was still in the hardware race, but not that Sega are perfect or anything, but you know. This is why Rayman needs HP. We could do a competition. Nintendo have gone greedy and evil. Microsoft is now run by AI and Sony don't have a clue. Yeah, I did see something from Microsoft recently where they were basically saying like, hey, we want to integrate AI even more into your PC. And we want it to be able to watch what you're doing and suggest things to you. And it's like, well, I don't want it to watch what I'm doing. It's my PC. You're off, thanks for the game. Oh, no worries, man. Good to see you. So we can either still go with 3, or we can see if anyone wants to jump in the 4th slot. So annoyed that I recently got into Halo and played them all, and now it's been leaked that even the Halo 1 remake is being driven by AI development and tidied up by developers. Yeah, honestly, I'm so sick of AI being used in remakes and remasters. Again, I know we talked about Front Mission 3, but yeah, the Front Mission 3 remake is a lot of AI. Yeah, we can reset the room if you want, Drac, if you want to switch characters so you can give Zale some stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I think there are some positive uses of AI, for sure. I just feel that there is a lot of areas where it's being misused. Did you ever play Front Mission 4? The only Front Mission game I have replayed is 3. The main reason for that is because the releases for the Front Mission games were ridiculous. So, one... I can't remember where one was released, but there are basically certain Front Mission games that were only released in certain countries. And it's near impossible to play them all. And so yeah, I have never tried any of the Front Missions apart from... I played a bit of the Front Mission 1 remake and Front Mission 3. And back in the day, 3 was one of the very few that was available in the UK. I don't know if 4 or 5 were ever released here. You're banking, yeah, no worries, Drac. We couldn't force you to use the Connect and Stay online, but what if we forced you to use AI and always be online? Yeah, again, I'm not necessarily anti-AI as such. I think that there are uses for it. I mean, to give you an example, the hospital I work in, if you go for a X-ray scan, it initially goes to like an AI, because the AI is much faster at assessing the scans, and for routine X-rays that are very easy to make a diagnosis from, the AI is very, very, very accurate. For any that have any kind of doubt as to the result of the scan, then it goes to radiologists. So I think that helps because obviously it speeds up the workflow for sure. And I think providing it is tested to be reliable, I'm okay with that. But there's a lot of situations, particularly in like the gaming industry, where it's just being massively misused, and it's being used to be lazy, basically. It's taking away jobs from people, and it's just resulting in some incredibly lazy slop. Alright, so I will go back to menu and I will remake this game. Yeah, no worries, they'll remake it. Image and pattern recognition is one of the only things I'm okay with the AI, but that's been around for a long time. Mainly against AI because it will just be used as an excuse to be lazy and sold to us an improvement. I think that's how it's been used a lot in gaming, for sure. I mean, again, just go and look at the Front Mission 3 remake and see how terrible all the AI generated art is. One trade before we left, so I can load. So, are you making the game, Drac, or do you want me to? If AI is not used for profit, then it's fine, but the majority of users are for profit, and that's just when it's evil. Plus, eventually it might even replace the profit takers. I know, Overlight. You make, okay, fair enough. Okay, party's up. Yeah, I mean, that is the other issue with AI, isn't it? It's just that the data centers that run them are just terrible for the planet. It's not like the planet doesn't have enough issues already. Yeah, I think the downside is it feels like it's been excessively used in gaming, at least, to very, very quickly throw out very lazily done products, and it's just not working. I really do need to get back into this game and figure out how to get it online. So there is a, if you go on my Discord, I think it's in the Phantasy Star 0 section, there is a, I think it's a pinned comment that shows how to get on it. Need 2 levels, then we can do super hard. I mean, I'm fine doing hard if you want. Arthur Morgan. So we've got 1 more slot if anyone wants in. If not, we'll start with 3. We're looking over some DS games to download ROMs to use in DS and came across this. Looks neat and I found out it can still be played online. Came over to Twitch to see if someone streams it and found you. Thought I'd look over some gameplay. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so it is pretty easy to get online, honestly. Again, Novelight, I do have a Discord that has instructions of how to go on it there as well. Yeah, I guess we can start. I think we've just got 3 at the minute, so... Yeah, have you ever played any of the other Phantasy Star games, Novelight, or would this be your first one? You can pet the cat if that helps solidify your decision. I appreciate that everyone is petting the cats. If you don't pet the cat, you get a debuff on drop rate, so that's mandatory. I did know about the existence of the games from before. Not much about them, but I knew they existed. Also, I'm a cat person, so yeah. Is there any area you want to do for experience? I guess we haven't done... Oh, you also have these things called mags, Novelight. They're these little things that float behind you, and you can make Sato, which is a cat one. You want to do Makaru Ruins or Paru? Yeah, can do. So do you want to do a quest then, so you get more experience? Do you need to have a specific region, or doesn't it matter if the copy is European or USA? That I'm not totally sure on. I assume it doesn't matter because... Yeah, so Drax using US. Yeah, I'm guessing it doesn't matter then. I suppose Minsk that was playing was from Canada as well, so... Alright, let's do... Yeah, let's do that one. Still like an 8-bit door. Still running old HyperConnect 91 that my dog chewed the stick covers off. I like it for the most part. I don't know if you've seen this one, because I did get one new one about 2 months ago. It's Ultimate 2 now. It's okay. The only criticisms I've got of it is the face buttons to me stick out a little bit too much. I prefer them to be a little bit more recessed. The only big issue I do have with it though is the triggers on it. They are Hall effect triggers, which is nice, but the issue is that they're dampened by like a piece of foam behind the trigger, and the foam has a habit of moving. And when the foam moves, the trigger kind of clacks against the bumper. So I don't know if you can hear it, but it bangs against the actual bumper button. And to fix it, you have to open the controller up, which is a pain to do. So that's a little bit annoying, but apart from that, I really like the controller. I love that the Raymar in this is just a cowboy. Yes, no, but the combat in this game, the way it works basically is you have normal attacks and you also have what are called Fortin arts. If you play certain classes. So there's like 3 kind of class archetypes. You've got Hunter, Ranger, and Force. So obviously Hunter is what I'm playing. They're mainly melee. Got Ranger, which uses firearms, and then Forces are kind of like your mage class. For a lot of the weapon types, you have what are called Fortanarts, which you do by... You basically hold the attack button. So if I just press the attack button, I do my normal attacks. But if I hold the button while I'm doing it, I'll then start charging my Fortanart up. And then if I release the button, I do like a separate attack. So the attack differs depending on what Fortanart it is. There's a few different ones for each weapon, so... You do also have a dodge roll as well. It's worth noting as well that pretty much every Phantasy Star game plays differently, so even if you tried this one and weren't a big fan of how it played, one of the other ones will play totally different. So you can switch to different weapons as well, so... So there's loads of different weapon types, so you know, I was using daggers, now using a claw. Again, if I hold the attack button, I charge the Fortanart up, and then when I release it, there's a different attack. Honestly, for DS, it's a really impressive game. Looks nice to play. PC is a mess with all the games I have. I don't even know how many I have on it. Consoles are way more tardy in that regard, and I tend to play them more. I used to be more of a console game, but in recent years, I'm definitely moved more towards PC. Just for convenience, honestly. Oh, wow, I actually leveled. Different boots up PSO Episode 3. Yeah. So yeah, if there's that kind of game you want in, there's probably a Phantasy Star game that fits that niche. A PSO Episode 3 being a card game. Graphics card gave up on you, so you're currently severely more limited in what you can play. Oh, sorry to hear that. But yeah, the franchise itself is really old now, so it goes back a long way. I'm not convinced by this Fortanart. It's nice for things that stay still. Let's try that. That's stun element. Yeah, I mean, that's really nice. Yeah, it does have a fully featured single player story as well, so it's a fairly short one, but it is fun. Yeah, this map's really bad, isn't it? It's a cliche but fleshed out story. Yeah. I thought the story was fine. Nothing revolutionary or anything, but it was alright. There is a turret in the corner there. That's inevitably going to pop up when we... Maybe when we trigger this. Yeah, like that. Compared to PSO, which has a roundabout way of storytelling. Yeah, PSO's storytelling is very weird the way it does it. I do like it though. You have to play the different races for the full story since they start at different parts, but that might just be for the beginning. Yeah, there's not huge differences between the races and the story, but they do definitely start differently. And I think your first boss is different as well. Or maybe just the order of the bosses in general. Alright, where's the other switch? Oh, there is actually an enemy here. Yeah, I didn't notice it. Yeah, I have always wondered why they did the story the way they did in PSO. Maybe it was because I guess one of the focuses with PSO was that obviously on the online part of it. So maybe they thought, like, we'll make the story not obvious, but it's there for people that want to find it. Oh yeah, episode 3 story is a nightmare to get the whole story. Because there are so many points where the story splits off. That's why I haven't done a video on it. I did plan on doing one, but then another creator, Sky's Not the Limit, they did one which is a really good video about Ep 3, which I would encourage you to go and watch, because I don't think I'll bother doing an Ep 3 video. Not for the story, because it just takes far too long to do. It's a really good story, but yeah, it's just, there's so many branch-off points for it. Story PSO is for people that like to read, yeah, for sure. So I've always liked how PSO does the story. PSO story is presented in a way that won't disrupt online play. Yeah, that's kind of the way I look at it. It's kind of there if you want to discover it, but if you just want to go online and hunt rares, you can. It is very, very similar to how Dark Souls does it, yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of it with PSO is definitely like environmental storytelling. I actually did a video on that a while back. Because NGS actually does a similar thing as well. Although with NGS it is also partly because they just never add new story. PSO has the music, yeah. The soundtrack is really, really strong. Again, I feel that soundtrack is something that Phantasy Star has always done really, really strongly. There's not many Phantasy Star games with bad soundtracks. Even NGS, I mean, I think NGS's soundtrack, there are some songs that I don't vibe with for sure. But I do feel that NGS has some really solid songs, particularly some of the boss fight. I think some of the bosses in it have really good boss themes. Sonic Team in general are really good with music. I mean, technically it's not Sonic Team that does the later games, but yeah, for PSO it was for sure. Looking over the instructions, why do you need to replace the Wild Valley quest with Eternal? So that you're reading there, that is to do... There is a quest in the game called Eternal Tower, which is like a 100 floor quest. It's like an end game thing. That is basically so that you can do that online with the players. Normally that quest is only single player offline. I'm sure there is instructions somewhere on my Discord though for how to get the multiplayer set up. I might have to have a look and see if I've pinned it or not. Never got to play PS0. Looks so much more vibrant than PSO BB. I mean, it's a totally different art style. It's definitely its own art style for sure. It is a very vibrant game for the colour palette as well, yeah, for sure. It's good to see you, Cat, as well. That's why you're reading the instructions. Yeah, so I wonder if I didn't pin it then. What I will do is, after the stream, if no one posts it beforehand, I will try and post the instructions for you how to do it. It's killing the last comment, okay. Yeah, I should probably pin that because it's probably quite useful for people. Yeah, there are 3 switches here, by looks of things. Even the Satos look at, like, yeah, the Satos are really cute. I'm guessing everyone does Eternal online. Oh, that's the quest that people play the most since it's the hardest. I think it's more just that it was never playable multiplayer. So it's nice to be able to do it multiplayer. It is really good for farming res as well. But honestly, like when we play online, we play pretty much anything in the game. Yeah. It's one of these games where you can more or less run anything. OG PSO was vibrant when compared to the Brownie era of video games. I'll tell you what, I will go and get this Switch then. Okay, we did it. Yeah, we try and mix things up a bit. Eternal Tower can be a chore since it's the same thing visually more or less for 100 floors, yeah. It's still insane to me that they put that in the game. Oh, you've posted the tutorial, Drac. Oh, thanks for that. I'll tell you what, if you've just reposted it, I will just quickly pin that. It says unpinned message, so it must be pinned. Yeah, Discord to me is acting like it is pinned already, so... I don't know what's going on there. Oh wait, is it this way? Yeah, honestly, it's been a while since I set it up, but I don't remember it being that hard. Oh, that is literally the room we just come from. I have no sense of direction whatsoever. Yeah, no worries, Drac, yeah. No, thanks for doing that. Yeah, the only thing to be aware of with Zero is that every now and again the service that we use to connect to it every now and again they do maintenance on it and take it down for maybe a couple of days. So now and again you might get it where there's a couple of days where you can't play Zero. Or can't play online. But that is quite rare, to be fair. Even if you never play episode 3, I recommend looking at the card art. It's very cool, though I may be biased being a PSO fan. Not only for me, even if I'd never played PSO episode 3, the card art in episode 3 is really nice. Again, I have showed this before, but I do have some physical PSO episode 3 cards. Yeah, Ben Matt from the Phantasy server mentioned that he's hosted an online Ep3 server. Yeah, so if you want to play Ep3 online, you still can. The server that he's probably talking about is called ragol.org. Yeah, so R-A-G-O-L, so Ragol. That is the Ep3 server. I want to say I think you can play some of the other versions on there as well. But yeah, if you want to play Ep3, that's where you go to play it online. Yeah, we do play it on stream now and again. Is definitely one of the weirder Phantasy Stars, but I do like it. The VOD's still on Twitch. To be honest, even if it isn't on Twitch, the YouTube VODs never disappear. Yeah, it's kind of an annoying thing with Twitch is that even as a Twitch affiliate, your VODs only last for, I want to say maybe a couple of months at most. I can't remember what the time frame is for now, but they do delete your VODs after a while. Yeah, if you like really creepy robotic voices, then Ep3 is the game for you. 23k experience level 16, nice one. Bezos needs his server space. Thank you for reminding me to accept the quest reward, because I would have actually forgotten it. Speaking of Twitch and Bezos, etc., did anyone see? I did post about it a little bit on X, but did anyone see what happened at TwitchCon this year? It just kind of validated why I will never go to anything like that. What happened? A streamer got sexually assaulted on stage, and there were no Twitch security anywhere. What fan was playing PSO, returned to Ragol mod yesterday, caught with my friend. Oh, nice one, Fluoride. Yeah, it was not a small streamer as well. It was there was a streamer, you might have heard of it, she's called Imiru. Imiru, she's one of the biggest female streamers on Twitch. She was doing some kind of show at TwitchCon, and Twitch told her that she couldn't do the show unless she also did a meet and greet. So she was in the middle of doing a meet and greet, and a guy basically just jumped the barriers and went over and hugged her and tried to kiss her. Yeah, also, yeah, Twitch had stopped her from bringing her normal security guard that she normally takes, because he had, from what I heard, I think at a previous event, someone had been stalking her, and this security guard had basically held the guy to wait for other security to arrive. And because of that, he was banned from attending future events. Yeah, it's really, really bad. Twitch's response was basically, we take security very seriously, despite them not having any security staff in the vicinity of it happening. And then went back to posting about all the cool stuff you can do at TwitchCon. It's shocking. Thankfully, Amiru has posted since and said that she is okay. She's a bit understandably a bit shaken up by it. But it's just a horrible experience, that. Yeah, so the original security guard basically got banned from the event for doing his job. It's madness, honestly. Oh, Cat, yeah, links will probably get blocked automatically by the bot, unfortunately. Also, thanks for the follow as well, Nova. Much appreciated. So yeah, I would just say, says it, you know, it should be common sense, but if you go to any convention like that, just try and be safe. Yeah, or just avoid it. Yeah, that is also a perfectly acceptable option. Oh, no worries, Cat. No, it's just the bot that I've got. It automatically blocks links, just in case anyone tries dropping any dodgy links, obviously. What's up, guys? When you see Sky in person, don't go and hug her, kiss her. Yeah, for me, I don't think I'd be comfortable doing something like that anywhere. Just not my kind of thing at all. They're like those kind of conventions, but I also feel like things like that are just a breeding ground for illness. Yeah, what has been quite funny though is that basically every time Twitch have posted something new on their X, everyone is just absolutely destroying them in the comments. Yeah, he's got create doubles. Yeah, very nice. You don't seem like a celebrity kind of guy, just a guy who streams games. I am more than happy being a guy who streams games. In this game, they called it Claire doubles instead. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I mean, to be fair, Claire doubles was always a bit of a weird thing anyway. Oh, I got a mag. Cool. Is that any good? Level 24. Granier and Timid. Please don't call Twitter X. No, just no, don't use Twitter ever, but we'll never call X ever. I think because it's been X so long now, I've kind of got used to it. I still don't like calling it X, but seeing as you work in the medical profession, I can't imagine you like conventions all since they're germ breeding grounds. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I work in a germ breeding ground anyway. You always forget about the gun-toting orangutans. Yeah, they're definitely one of the best enemies in the game. I love that they're just a random monkey with a gun. through Naked Sunday. We'll have to see. We'll see if we get one. Yeah, I mean, I suppose me saying that I'd never go to a convention, I guess isn't necessarily true, but I can't ever see myself ever going to something like TwitchCon. I mean, definitely not now. But I just can't imagine me ever being comfortable there. Getting stun locked by this frog. Dude, seriously? It's weird. I don't know what it is about TwitchCon though. It seems like there are always bad stories coming out of it. I mean, obviously this year is particularly bad. But was it last year or the year before where someone like really badly damaged their back on one of the games they had there? I seem to remember that someone fell into like a foam pit that wasn't deep enough or something and really badly messed the back up. I'm sure that was at TwitchCon as well. Went to a gaming, sci-fi, anime, comic, whatever convention before. It was small though, so you didn't mind it. Yeah, I imagine the small ones are probably not too bad. Like, I think they can be, you know, they can be a nice place to go to if it's not massive in scale. But things like, you know, TwitchCon or LAX or those kind of ones, just they're so big. And it always looks like, whenever I've seen like video footage of people in those conventions, it always looks like people are hemmed in to a ridiculous degree. Yeah, just to add to the problems with that TwitchCon, another video I saw from it was someone, there was like a terminal that you had to scan your pass to get into TwitchCon to obviously make sure that you had a valid ticket for it. And someone scanned the pass and it didn't work. And they tried it a few times, and then the guard on the event staff on the entrance just said, "Oh, you can go in, sorry." It could have been anyone. You could have just let anyone into that convention. Don't know what the con is like now though, because I haven't got another 12 years. Yeah, it's like, I don't necessarily think conventions are a bad thing by any means, but they need to be managed properly. You know, there needs to be proper security in place and everything. Unfortunately, with TwitchCon this year, it just feels like that hasn't been the case at all. Seems like your DS flashcard can't pick up the patch version. I'm not sure because I don't know how people actually play it on the DS. Just be aware as well that if you are, I don't know if you use an original hardware or not, but if you are, just be aware of the like security protocols for the online, because it is a bit of an issue if you use an original hardware. Yeah, it might be worth asking on the Discord though, if you are having problems with it. I just kind of feel with this that either people get on it with no problem whatsoever or have tons of problems. There's like no in between. Yeah, there is also a Zero Discord as well, yeah. I mean, as great as my Discord is obviously, mine is very much like a generalized Phantasy Star, so it covers a lot of the different games. Probably asked later, it's kind of late for me now, and I don't care enough to go through the effort right now. I totally get that. I mean, hopefully this will give you a decent idea of what the game is like to play. Yeah, it may also be worth looking at the other games in the franchise though as well, because there might be another game for another platform that I prefer. There was one year I was going to go, had to cancel at the last minute due to some family issues. It was just as well since they sold general weekend passes. Everybody showed up on the Saturday and they reached building capacity. People were forced to wait outside in line to get in. Seems like a fun hack and slash to play for a bit here and there when you're bored or have time. Yeah, I mean, I don't play this a huge amount. I tend to play it on stream every so often, and I might load it up now and again. Some of the other Phantasy Star games I put a lot more time into. But this is still good for, you know, spending a bit of time with. And I still think, again, for a DS game, I think it's pretty impressive. No, we do not need that. Yeah, know me, if I did go to a convention, it'd probably get cancelled anyway, because my luck with things like that is terrible. I was meant to go to like a huge like car festival a couple of years back. That's one of the biggest festivals in the UK. And it got cancelled on the one day I was meant to go to it because it was too windy on the day. It was apparently the first time it'd been cancelled in about 20 years. And of course it happened on the one day I had a ticket. Looking for DS games mostly because me and mother don't have any jobs currently and need to consume not too much electricity, otherwise the bills would be insane. Too windy for a con. So the issue they had was there was a lot of like outdoor kind of tent stands for like outdoor exhibitors, and it was like incredibly high winds on that day. There was a storm blowing through. And I think they were concerned that the tent stands might blow away. And the issue is that this had some cars there that were worth like millions of pounds. So I think they were obviously concerned about the people attending the event, but also worried about, I don't really fancy paying an insurance claim for like a £20 million car. So I think that was why they cancelled. Yeah, no, if you're looking for good DS games, I would definitely recommend this. Even if you only play through it once or so, you know, it should give you a good few hours at least. A star on the Earth's back. Maybe it's a Phantasy Star. I have no idea which way we're going, by the way. Yeah, I guess they do have like a little star on the back, don't they? Yeah. Never noticed that, actually. But yeah, that convention though, it was literally I think it was a three-day convention. I had a 1-day ticket, and it was the 1 day that cancelled. Every other day was on. And I couldn't use my ticket for any other day because it was such a busy convention. I'm assuming there's another switch somewhere. Is it over here? No? Am I blind? We'll just move on from that. It was a remote switch to blow up the boxes, okay. Yeah, boxes, not boxers. Did they give you money back? They did. Well, initially, they said, hey, what we can do is, because we're already fully booked for this year, what we can do is we can roll your ticket over to next year. And I thought, I don't want to do that because it could get cancelled again. And this con wasn't near where I live. It was the other end of the country. So I'd driven about 5.5, 6 hours. I'm in the UK, so the UK is fairly small. So 5 hours in the UK is a pretty big deal. So I'd driven more or less from one end of the country to the other. I'd booked a hotel, you know, for the night. So I thought, well, if it gets cancelled again, I'm going to be down money again, because obviously I couldn't get a refund on the hotel. Couldn't get, you know, obviously money back for all the petrol I used getting down there. So they were like, you can either have a ticket for next year, or if you really, really want a refund, I guess we can give you one. But yeah, I'll have a refund, please, thanks. So I haven't been back, unfortunately. I would like to do the event at some point, but I just don't want to go for the risk again of like traveling 5-6 hours to get down there and then... Oh, I mean, it's a very well-known festival. It's been going for years and years, so you know, it is a legit festival. It's not like they're trying to scam, but it did kind of feel like they were trying to discourage people from cancelling and getting money back. Obviously, because they want the money to come in. The other reason I cancelled is because there was one event that was meant to be happening there that year that was only there for that year, which is one of the reasons I wanted to go. Funnily enough, so it was one of the cars I wanted to see when I was there, which I obviously didn't get a chance to see. Funnily enough, when I go to Japan, I'm going to see it in the factory in Japan anyway, so so it's kind of worked out in the end. Don't think it being legit, but just requires too much faith on my part that we'll honour that ticket a year later. Yeah. At that point, I was just kind of so dejected. I just thought, I really don't want to roll it over to next year and then risk the same thing happening again. Because the issue is that the hotel cost a lot of money for the night. Because the event is a very well-known one, all the hotels in the area massively put their prices up around the time of the event. So it was ridiculously expensive to get the hotel booked, and I thought, I don't want to do this again and lose all the money again for a second year. So instead, I just got the money back and then put the money towards this Japan trip, so... Also, just to reiterate, while I'm in Japan, I did mention it on the community post and everything. Obviously, there will be no streams while I'm away. I did initially want to do some like Twitch reruns while I'm away, but I didn't realize that Twitch have actually changed how the reruns work. So previously, you could just set reruns, and then you could go away and set your rerun to go live while you're away. Now, for some reason, for reasons I don't understand, they've made it so that you have to manually start the rerun in OBS or whatever encoder you're using, which requires me to be there. So it will be slightly difficult for me to start the stream when I'm in Japan. I don't know why they changed it, but yeah, so unfortunately there'll be no stream reruns while I'm away. I'm going to try and do at least one YouTube video for you guys to go live while I'm away. So you've got something. I guess if you want to, you can go back and watch VODs if you want to as well. However, while I'm in Japan, what I am going to try and do is I'm going to try and take some photos and everything, which I'll probably post on the Discord. And I might post some extra ones for YouTube members as well. It's unlikely I will actually stream anything from Japan just because Japan, as you probably know, has had a lot of issues with YouTube streamers recently, like in the last year or two. And I don't want to be seen as one of them. Oh, I forgot this boss existed. I was much happier until then. Trying to stream off hotel Wi-Fi sounds so pleasant to begin with, yeah. I mean, I do have a data plan for while I'm there for unlimited data, but you know, they're obviously going to throttle the data after a certain amount of time. But I will definitely try and get you some photos and things like that. I will probably ask if the PSO pop-up shop is pretty quiet when I get there as well. I will try and ask the staff there if I can take photos for you. Yeah, no promises on that, but I will try if I can. You're watching train videos from Japan? Yeah, I will be getting very familiar with the train soon. Last time I went, I didn't actually have to use the bullet train at all, because I was mainly based around Tokyo last time. But this time I'm going to a few different places, so I will be using the bullet train this time. Oh, you're just short on leveling. I got light protect, whatever that does. Light protect is Q confused, okay. But yeah, I think my plan so far is to I'm doing about a week in Tokyo to begin with. Then I'm going to do a few days in Hiroshima. So really looking forward to it. I should be back on about the 15th of November. Which is a Saturday. There will be no stream on the Sunday immediately following that because I will be extremely jet lagged and very, very tired. So I will probably, the next stream after I get back will probably be the Wednesday stream following that. Be careful not to get isekai'd. I will try not to. I will avoid all of the truck guns. Can I start any of this stuff in here? Because, yeah, I'm really struggling. Yeah, one thing I am going to try and do there, because it sounds hilarious, is they apparently have a samurai and ninja museum. And you get to dress up as a samurai. And also play with throwing stars. That sounds very, very cool. Very touristy, but I kind of just want to try it. I think we enter here. Yeah, I don't think we'll get another run in before we end, so Yeah, I guess we can call it there for today. Get a real SJS. Yeah, if only. Yeah, I've got plenty of plans to do quite a lot of stuff around there, so I will try and post plenty of pictures for you. Sometimes you got to lean into the touristy stuff a little. Yeah, to an extent. I mean, last time I went, to be fair, I did do like stuff like maid cafes, so I was curious about them, and I thought it would be a laugh doing it. It was extremely weird. Going to the deer park thing. I don't know if I got near enough to Nara, which is where the deer are, so I might struggle to do that. Problem is, I've already got a load of stuff on my itinerary already as well, so I'm trying to keep it so that I've got at least 1 or 2 rest days as well, because last time I went, I packed too much into the itinerary, and I was crucified after a few days from like walking miles. So yeah, I will try and post plenty of pictures for you guys so you can see. But that's not until the 1st of November when I go though, so we've got a couple of weeks yet. So yeah, I think we'll end it there for today. So there will be a video going live during the week for YouTube members. It'll go live the following week for everyone else. On Wednesday, we will do a stream. I haven't fully decided what we're playing yet because, again, I don't want to start something that's too long before I go away. You know, if the PSU event's been updated, we might just do PSU on a Wednesday for a change. But we'll see. I'll figure something out. And then this Sunday coming, there should be another stream as well. And then the following week will just be the Wednesday stream before I go. Yeah, I guess we can do the dance. Why not? So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed a bit more PS0. I know I played it a little bit recently, but it's always a good time playing this, honestly. So, and thank you to everyone for hanging out as well, particularly the new people as well. So yeah, we will call it there for today. If you have enjoyed the stream, just consider the usual, either like, subscribe, join as a member if you want to. You can follow us up on Twitch. You can follow my XR Bluesky, and I do have the Discord server you can join as well, which we talked about a bit earlier. Yeah, whatever you're doing, have a great rest of your weekend and early week, and I will see you guys on Wednesday for whatever we decide to play. See you guys. Before we go, there you go. You'll love to see it. See you guys.